5 American animals versus 5 European animals. Who would win?
Although North America and Europe have an ocean between them, they both have species that are closely related to each other. This is because North America used to be connected to Asia and Europe through the Bering Land Bridge. Many different species could travel across this area freely, and this is just one of the many reasons why North American animals and European animals are closely related to each other. In this video,
Yeah, like bears, wolves, bison, foxes.
we'll be comparing animals from both of these areas and estimating which one would win in a fight. I'll be going through 5 species from Europe and 5 species from North America, and we'll
All right, no offense, Europeans, but I think I could be wrong. I feel like America might win this one. We have some pretty big animals, like pretty big. Like our grizzly bear is insane. I'm trying to think what else. I mean, they're going into badger, so I could be 100% wrong. Maybe Europeans will win.
start off with the European badger. Now, this striking creature is native to almost all of Europe and has a very large stable population. Because of the lack of large animals in the UK, the European badger is actually the UK's largest land predator and is one of the best well-known British species. In the wild, they live an omnivorous lifestyle, both taking a liking to plant matter and small creatures. During the day, badgers mostly spend their time underground, in their burrows, which are called setts. Although some European badgers like to spend their life on their own, most European badgers are social animals. They can live in groups of up to 25 members, but their social behaviour is largely dictated by the availability of food. But this striking mammal also has a North American counterpart, the American badger. Even though this species has a similar appearance to the European badger, they are not closely related. The American badger is known for being a little meaner than the European badger and lives a more solitary lifestyle. They live life slightly on the more...
I've never seen a badger in the wild before. I used to go hunting all the time too and saw some crazy stuff, but never saw a badger. I think they're a little bit farther north than where I used to be.
Carnivorous side, and predominantly feed on smaller mammals, such as gophers, squirrels, and prairie dogs. Because of this diet, they're found in more open areas, and are typically found around grasslands and prairies. To be able to get at their prey, they are impressive diggers, and spend most of their time looking for burrows of small animals. But even though the American badger has a very mean reputation, they are slightly smaller than the European badgers, as the European badger can reach a length of around a meter and weighs 17 kilograms, whereas the American badger maxes out at around 75 centimeters with a weight of 15 kilograms. So for this round, I think it's 1-0 for the European creatures. But our next creature is the Eurasian otter. Now, this semi-aquatic mammal is native to large parts of Eurasia and is the most widely distributed member of the otter subfamily. These otters have webbed feet, and this makes them impressive swimmers. They can mostly be found in freshwaters, where they're usually seen munching on fish. Although they're mostly seen as freshwater animals, the Eurasian otter can be found on the coast, where it's more than happy to try a bit of...
I was gonna say, usually, I think our otters are usually in saltwater. I could be completely wrong. No, there's some freshwater otters.
Seafood. In many parts of Europe, it is the top freshwater predator, but in recent years, it's had more competition. The American mink is invasive over large parts of Europe, and in most cases, directly competes with the Eurasian otter. This, along with habitat loss, overfishing, and hunting, have led to this otter being threatened in some areas. Luckily for these otters, they are much loved creatures, and many people are dedicated to helping them. Unfortunately, this wasn't the case for the extinct Japanese otter, which was considered to be a subspecies of the Eurasian otter. But as
I think went extinct in 2012. That's crazy. I had no idea. I think I did see some news that they relabeled quite a few species as not endangered anymore. There was a couple other ones. Panda bears. Was it like a breed of wolf or some type of feline, like a tiger or something? I can't remember. I did see a little article about that said there was like 3 or 4 different species that aren't endangered anymore, which is...
sure many of you know, there is also a famous otter in North America named the North American river otter. Now, this otter only lives on the North American continent, but lives a very similar lifestyle to the Eurasian otter. They have slightly more to choose from when it comes to food in North America, because as well as fish, they are also known to take down large numbers of turtles and crayfish. These otters are known for being extremely playful, and juveniles can often be seen chasing each other. Although this may look like just fun, it helps them improve their skills of catching fish. Now, it can be very hard to tell these two otter species apart. The North American river otter has a shorter neck and generally has a longer tail compared to its body. The Eurasian otter is the only otter in much of its range and also tends to be a little larger. They can reach a maximum length of around 1.4 meters and reach a maximum weight of around 24 kilograms. The American river otter, on the other hand, has a maximum length length at around 1.1 meters and maxes out at around 15 kilograms. So although both
smaller,
these animals
again.
are very lovable, that now makes it 2-0 to Europe. But our next two species are both the Eurasian brown bear and the grizzly bear. The
Alright, we 100% got this one.
Eurasian brown bear is the most common subspecies of brown bear and is found throughout much of Eurasia. They feed on a wide range of foods, eating various different types of plant matter such as berries, and also targeting the largest mammals and fish. Their size and power makes them very dangerous, and it's best to keep your distance from these bears. In North America, an average of 2 people a year are killed by bears. In Scandinavia, there's only been 3 fatalities from bear attacks in the last century, which makes it seem like Eurasian brown bears are less aggressive. Unfortunately, the truth is not as simple as this, as many other factors affect the frequency of bear attacks. In Romania in late 2019, brown bears were responsible for killing 3 men in just over a month. The cause of these attacks are sometimes desperation, because when we decrease the habitat of these bears, there's less food to go around, and they are forced into highly populated areas. But
this has got to be the scariest animal to be eaten by, I think, would be a bear. Oh man, that would just suck so bad. You know, you think like crocs or like hippos, or those are both kind of like water animals. So are sharks. Sharks would be horrible, but a bear? Because it's just gonna start gnawing on you while you're like literally still alive.
This bear also has a North American cousin, the grizzly bear. Although grizzly bears are known for being fearsome predators, some grizzlies can be surprisingly small. On the eastern slopes of Alberta, some adult grizzlies are known to be even smaller than black bears. They vary in size from area to area, mostly due down to competition and food availability. But when it comes down to maximum sizes, the grizzly bear can grow a lot larger than the Eurasian brown bear, as the European bears max out around 2.5 meters and weigh 480 kilograms, whereas the grizzly bears can reach a height of around 2.7 meters and weigh 770 kilograms. So, don't call it a comeback! But North America has clawed one back. But our next two animals are both the European bison and the American bison. Now, I've been through both of these creatures many times on this channel before, as they're not only very similar in appearance, but
I wish he would have gone through like the verses. Who would win? He actually went into like, claw lengths, arm reach. That would have been hilarious.
Throughout their history, they've had a very similar story. During the early years of the 20th century, European bison were once hunted to near extinction. They were only saved because they had small captive populations, and these populations were bred and then released back into the wild. This bison is the heaviest wild land animal in Europe, and is only ever targeted by the largest of predators. In most cases, these predators were humans, wolves, and bears, but the two latter species are now rare in most of their distribution. The only other living species of bison in the world is found in North America, and is definitely the more famous of the bison species. It's one of the most iconic animals of America's grasslands. But just like the European bison, it was once threatened with extinction. A combination of commercial hunting and slaughter in the 19th century, along with the introduction of bovine diseases, almost wiped out these iconic mammals. They had a population of around 60 million in the late 18th century, but the species was down to just 541 animals in 1889.
Damn.
This is one of the most devastating wild animal slaughters in the whole of human history. But luckily today they have...
Wasn't there a difference between bison and buffalo? I think buffalo did go extinct. I could be completely wrong on that. It's been so long since I've looked into that, but
made a comeback. Now, both of these giants are very similar in size, with the European bison being slightly taller at the shoulder with a height of around 2.1 meters, compared with the American bison's 2 meters. But the American bison can be a lot heavier, with a max weight of around 1,200 kilograms, compared to the European bison's 920 kilograms. Although the European bison is taller, I think the American bison wins this round, and it's 2-2 going into the last two animals. Now, there are 8 subspecies of moose recognized today, some of them living in North America, and the rest living in Europe and Asia. Moose are the largest and heaviest extant species in the deer family, and truly are one of the largest land mammal species alive today. Unlike other species of deer, they tend to live a solitary lifestyle, and tend to enjoy life in thick forests, and around wetland areas. Despite their size, they are impressive swimmers, and are very happy in marshes and wetlands. Their size gives them protection against most predators, and even wolves and bears will only really attack juveniles and sick individuals. Predators aren't the biggest threats to moose, as they have a much smaller threat to worry about. Brainworms are parasites contracted from eating snails, and the larvae of these worms find their way to the moose's brain. This causes neurological damage, and has led to a worrying decline in moose numbers. Millions of dollars have been poured into helping these animals, and hopefully they'll be able to bounce back in the future. But when it comes down to size, the American subspecies tend to be a little larger than the European ones, as they can reach a height of around 2.1 meters at the shoulder and weigh 700 kilograms, compared to a height at the shoulder of 2 meters and a weight of of 600 kilograms. So overall, it looks like the American species have come back to win this round, and they've won the competition overall. I know this flag doesn't include...
I wish that he did. We gotta see if he has some other ones. I'd love to see reptiles. Curious to see what
North
the reptiles
America,
look like.
and this one doesn't really represent Europe, but it was easier than putting up all the individual flags in this video. If you want me to do this style of video with any other continents, then let me know down in the comments below.
Sweet. All right, this one came from Suki. We've done one of his videos before, another animal video. Really cool. Yeah, so if you want to check him out, I'll have the link down in the description below. I guess I didn't really know that you guys had moose over there as well. That was, you know, I might have heard that in passing before, but I feel like that was a little fact that I got to learn, that you guys have moose as well. Just, they're taller than ours, just not heavier. All right, interesting. All right, if you guys enjoyed the video, smash the like button on the way out, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.